Hey, what's going on, guys? It's Vinnie here, and today I'm going to show you how to measure and install vinyl cordless blinds for your windows at home. So we just recently renovated our whole house and we still have our old blinds up and they're covered in a lot of dust. So I'm going to be removing these ones. I'll show you how to do that, and then we'll be installing the new ones. This process is super easy. I got these blinds on Amazon. I'll have a link down in the description below. And so just stay tuned to check it out. Here is all the tools you'll need for this job. So I just have a drill with a Phillips head, a tape measure, optionally a Phillips head screwdriver, and a pencil. And then of course our blinds. And again, links will be in the description for all the tools and parts used in this video. All right, so I just want to go over a quick overview of these blinds. So here's two new ones, and then here's an old pair. You can tell they're a little more yellow. It might be a little tricky to see because of the light, but the only thing that these blinds have to them is a rod right here that you can twist, and that will flip the blinds. And then to raise the blinds, you're just gonna grab the bottom and they just raise up, and then wherever you let them go, they stop. So pretty convenient. We have cats and the cats love the strings, and so now we don't have strings on here, so the cats can't play with them. And yeah, so I'm gonna show you guys how to measure and remove this and install the new ones, and let's get into it. All right, so to remove these blinds, what we're gonna do is you can look behind the blinds up here, and you're gonna see a silver tab on the left and another silver tab over here on the right. So what you're gonna do is push that in with either your finger or a screwdriver, and the top part of the blind will kind of angle up and come out of that clip. So I'm gonna go ahead and put the camera down and I'll show you how to do this. All right, so I usually like to use a screwdriver because sometimes these clips are a little stubborn, and a flathead or a Phillips will work. You're just gonna kind of pry that tab down, and then this is gonna lift out of the clip. And then we're gonna come over to the other side and push that tab down. And now your blinds should be free. And what I like to do is just pull the string, lock them, and you can put those off to the side. All right, so once you got the blinds out of the way, you can also remove these old clips. I'm just gonna use my drill. All right, so now that we have all of the old blind stuff out of the way, I'm gonna show you guys how I like to measure for blinds. So typically you wanna find where the blind's gonna sit, and it's gonna sit inside of this trim around the window. So you're gonna be measuring from end to end over here. So for me, I'm gonna measure it, and it says 23 inches, right? So that's gonna be the size of the blind that I'm gonna order. Now when you go to order these blinds, they're gonna ship the blinds. If you order a 23-inch blind, it's actually gonna come in at 22.5. And that's just so that there's no clearance issues for the width of the window. That's totally normal. So I'm gonna be installing 23-inch blinds today on this window here, and they're actually only gonna measure to 22.5. So what we're gonna do is have to center them right here. So I'll show you how to do that now. All right, so we're gonna unbox our blinds. You're gonna have the little kit of hardware in a bag. That's just gonna be the two brackets and a bunch of screws. And then you're gonna get your blinds and the twist cable that's going to be able to move those blinds open and closed different ways. All right, so we're gonna open the bag of hardware. It's gonna come with these like plastic clips. We don't really need these. There is optional ways of mounting this, but I'm gonna mount these clips up to the top of the window frame. And then you're just gonna need 2 screws. That's about it. All right, so now I just want to do a quick side-by-side comparison just to show you guys. You could also measure your old blinds. You can measure the width of them to double check if you like the way that they looked on the window. Here you'll see this measures to 22 3/4. These are an older style. The new ones here, these measure to 22.5 right on the dot. So 22.5 is gonna fit perfect in that 23-inch window. So we're gonna go ahead now and I'll show you how to get the measurements up there for the brackets. All right, so if you open up these instructions, the only thing that I'm gonna really need to show you here that matters is where to not hang the brackets for the blinds. So if you look at this bottom picture, it's just kind of demonstrating the top of the blind itself. And I'll show you on here. So if you look on here, there's a spring that runs along the whole top on one side. And then this is like where all the cables are inside of here. And you just want to make sure when the brackets are placed up in the window frame that they're not near the center. The center is like a no-go area, as well as right near the edge, like the complete edge all the way at the end. That's probably not going to be the best spot. You kind of typically want to do it somewhere in between from the center to the end. So I typically measure out like 6 inches, and that's usually pretty good for every window blind that I've ever hung. I've never had any issues. So again, just try to avoid the very edge and like the very center. So measuring 6 inches in from either side, we'll place the brackets somewhere in that general area on both sides. And then just another thing, so once the brackets are bolted into the window frame, the way that these work, there's this little tab on the top, and that's gonna actually slide in like this. Try to show you guys here because you're not gonna be able to see it once I'm hanging them up there. So that tab kind of just sits in there like that. And then around the back side, this little clip goes right over the back of the blind and clicks just like that. And that's gonna be like what locks it all in together, and that'll be what holds it up there. And then to release the blinds, you're just gonna pull that tab back up like that, and it should come right out. So now let's go ahead and make our marks for our brackets, and we'll get these blinds hung up in no time. All right, so we're looking at the top of the window frame area, and you can see the old holes. They were actually against going into like the vinyl part of the window. I'm not a big fan of that. Windows are expensive and it's pretty easy to start damaging them. I always feel like it's a lot easier to go up into the wood of the frame because that's a lot cheaper to replace as well. And you're not gonna really see any big difference between either of them. But the top one is usually, for me, has been always the best way to do it. It's really a preference, but like I said, it's a lot safer to drill into that wood than it is into like a vinyl part of your window. So I'm gonna show you guys how to hang these brackets onto the top part of the window. All right, so I'm gonna find my inner edges where we measured from, and I'm gonna do 6 inches off of the left side, make just a little pencil mark, and then flip it, and we'll do 6 inches off of the other side. And that's always like a safe bet. It doesn't have to be perfect or exact, but just getting it close to 6 inches, you should be safe. And make sure you erase any pencil marks that you make on your brand new painted walls. So I'm just gonna hold these brackets up just to quickly demonstrate where those marks are. So we have one there and one here. And so what you're gonna actually do is hold the bracket up right where that's the center of that mark is. And there's a top hole. You just get your pencil and make a little mark in there. And then you go over to your other line that's 6 inches in and center that and make another mark in the center hole. And now you know exactly where your screws are gonna go. All right, so you made your mark with your bracket, you found that center hole. So I get the screw and I'm just gonna start it right on that mark. And you just gotta get it started just a little bit. So I'll do that with both screws. Find the hole. Couple little taps and you'll get the screw in there, and now you can back the screws all the way out. This is just a lot easier to do instead of trying to hold the bracket at the same time and make the hole. You could also use a small drill bit. So now we're gonna center that hole on the top hole of the bracket. We're gonna center that on the hole we just drilled and put our screw right in that hole. And that's about it. So that bracket's in. And then if it's a little bit crooked, you can back it off twist it straight. And you don't want to over tighten these because you'll strip the screw right through that wood, and then you're going to have to make another hole. So again, we get our bracket going through the top hole, line it up with the hole we just drilled, and you're going to put the screw in. Boom, that's in there. Now, another thing you can also do is get a screwdriver and you can kind of tighten it or loosen it with the screwdriver. It's a little bit safer so you don't end up stripping the wood out. And that's pretty much it. So now our brackets are up there. I'm gonna grab our blinds, and like I showed you on the ground, you're gonna get the blind now, and you wanna slide these tabs up here into the front part of the blind itself. And once that front part is slid in, once the tab's slid into here, you're gonna push these blinds down, like you're gonna kind of roll them and rotate them, and this bottom part's gonna snap over the bottom of the blind. So you could also kind of pull this down gently, like a 1/2 inch, and so you can kind of hold it better. And I like to put my pinkies on both sides, and that's gonna help me center this blind on these brackets. So I'm gonna sit the blind up on those tabs. You're gonna have to feel it for when they slide in like that. All right, now you can see these silver tabs down here on both sides. I'm gonna click them in, just like that. And then so let's just say this isn't exactly straight. You can pull the tabs down again with your thumbs or your finger, like that. And we're just gonna scooch the blind over until it's centered. And then again, rotate it down and click it in, just like that. Now the blinds, you can just pull them down, just like that, so you can see. And if you look at it from far distance, you can see that's pretty centered. Then the last step is to get this hook right here, and this hook is going to go right up into this clip over here. So I get these hooks, and I kind of put this whole rod horizontally, and I put that tip of the hook in, and you kind of have to finagle it in. You'll feel it. Don't force it in because it'll snap. And just like that, the hook is now in. All right, and then if you just give this thing a twist, everything will open and close. You can rotate them either way. And that's about it. It's a pretty simple process. I just wanted to show you like a step-by-step. And yeah, these blinds are super cheap. This is like a temporary solution for us right now. We just wanted to replace the old blinds that we had when we were renovating the house because they were loaded with like dust and stuff. But great solution to getting some new blinds up there real quick. We're gonna make them all match. Everything's gonna look good. Yeah, very nice blinds, super cheap, easy to install. And I would definitely recommend these for anybody who is just, you know, renovating their house and they're not sure exactly what blinds they're really gonna go with yet. We actually are gonna replace our windows in the future, so that's why we're just doing temporary blinds for right now. Seems like a super easy solution for us now, and it actually makes the house look a lot better. So super happy with these. Again, links will be down in the description for all the tools and parts used in this video. All right guys, and that's about it. That's how you'll install vinyl cordless blinds in your windows. I hope this video helped somebody out there. If it did, please leave me a like. If you guys have any questions, leave them down in the comments. I will get back to you. And if you're looking for more of this kind of content, then hit that subscribe button because there'll be plenty more videos coming your way. Appreciate you guys sticking through with me on this one, and I'll see you in the next one. Have a good one.